Okay, tenor. I'll play alto. All right. Really cool. I liked how you played with the tempo a lot. So that the second big phrase at measure 5 was quite a bit faster than the first one. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Did we do what you wanted for the dynamics at the top of page 2?
Top of page 2?
At going through Irreprehensibly.
Yeah, part of that is my bad. I lost where we were a little bit, so I wasn't sure if I placed the crescendo quite correctly.
Okay, that's what it looked like. Okay, fine. All right, take another chance at all the way through. Mm-hmm. That's good. Just a couple other things. In the measure of rest, you could be smaller. Mm-hmm. It looks. I mean, like I said at the last class period, we want the music to sort of keep going through the rest, but you're just sort of riding the wave at that point. You're not causing any music to happen, right? So you're just sort of leading us to the next thing, and that can be, I mean, you could get away with not conducting at all. I just wanted you guys to practice conducting really small, so that's why I specified that. So see what you can do with that musically. At the very beginning, your conducting is really beautiful in the legato, but remember that we don't change until beat 4. So beat 2 in the first measure can be super legato, and then we don't need to see any like clear impulse to move until the rebound after beat 3. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you can be even more legato, and sort of lead us on to where you want it to lead us on.
Okay.
Just take what you're doing and take it the next step. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Okay, all right, we'll try it all the way through again. Okay, really nice.
Yeah.
You almost brought us in on the beat early, but
Yeah.
I like the way you were taking us through the rest. That was good. So that time was cool. I liked how you did things differently that time. And I noticed that you slowed down in measure 40, which is also, it also worked. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Why don't you try it from 38, one more time, 38 to the end.
Okay.
Okay. And then your right hand fingers are getting a little curled in. So just remember, it's like you're spinning a thread, and the thread needs to sort of come out and connect to us, and you don't want to lose. Yeah, I don't know what the best image is. I'm sure I tend to do that too. I mean, that's our natural tendency, is to curve our hands like this, right? So we have to fight against that a little bit, and just sort of. I think this position is working well for you, but just, I guess, yeah. Actually, grab your baton once. Let me see what you do with your baton. Just conduct 4/4, as if you were conducting this piece, the first measure, with your baton. What would you do? Okay, so you're holding your hand this way. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine for me, not for Chris.
Yeah.
We'll talk. Yeah, I teach the first semester that way too. Just saying. You have to. It's easier with the baton in a way, because you don't have to worry about these extra digits. So now, but your baton is fine. Your baton hold is fine. So just imagine that this is your baton. I don't want you to conduct like this, which I see people doing sometimes. It's like, well, you might as well use a baton if you're going to just conduct with your index finger. So use all your fingers, but it's like this whole thing is your more organic baton. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See if that works for you. So measure 38 to the end. Better. Okay. I think I'll just keep this on the video. I think what the tendency is for you when you conduct with your hand is on B2, you go too far this way. And so when I'm doing this, I'm going to actually bend my wrist that way a little bit. 1, 2, just like I would with a baton. But so I usually hold my baton. I don't know what I do. But if I'm holding my baton this way, I'm going to turn my wrist that way. 1, 2, and then I'm going to turn it that way. So my wrist is going opposite of my arm. Does that make sense? So that then you get a smooth transition, right? And I'm exaggerating now. So yeah, I would do the same thing. So it's less pronounced with your baton. So when you're conducting with your hand, I think you need to
the weight of my hand makes my fingers want to like curl in when I start to move the other way. Is what you're saying?
I don't think it's the weight of your hand. It's just the direction of your hand. Because if you're conducting this way, they're going to naturally. Well, okay, maybe it is actually the momentum of your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. So we have to fight against that, and I think you fight against it here.
The wrist.
1, 2. Does that make sense to you guys? And so conducts. So the reason I teach this way in the first semester is that you avoid all these other issues. Okay, yeah. But now that you're doing it this way, just get used to it. Okay, so yeah, I think we have to use our wrist to fight against it, and it's an extreme version of this. Right. So see how far my wrist is tilted. So you don't want to. I see lots of people with their batons and they habitually conduct like this. That's not good. All right, you want this to be your normal pattern, okay? A straight wrist. But then there's all sorts of things you can move as long as you come back to center. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing here. You can move this, but when I get to the downbeat, I'm going back to center. In a way, this is easier because it's easier for us to move our wrists this way than it is this way, right? So mechanically, like in terms of body mechanics, this is probably better in a way. I don't know. It's not really better or worse.
Part of the reason why I do it like this instead of like this is to avoid pronating my arm.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, cool. Good work, everybody.